fast as you can, like a gun, a silhouette. And they say, and they say, yeah.
But oh my gosh, Strode deletes Dagus. He doesn't have enough magic resist. He's completely itemized on armor and he can't. Wild Dog is going to get caught here, though, by the ultimate of D-Loot, and Rated R with the Cataclysm will take him down. Now Buster Toast going in. Gamer will take down Prophet, but now they're in full retreat. Buster Toast forced the flash away as Dagus is fairly low. A 1-for-1 fight there, support. The Order ultimate is going to hit Divine Cameron, and they will get the double knockup. Dagus takes one. He will take a fight in the bottom side. Ooh, great Emperor's Divide. Hectus trying to get onto the backline. A double kill for the Azir. Oh, can he get the triple? No. But oh, and there's the double kill. The Vega to try and chase them down, still alive. But the double kill for Stro as well. The top laners and junglers are dead. Prophet gonna go in aggressively. Too aggressively, though. He's gonna take quite a bit of damage. Gamer trying to back away. Oh my god, Stro deletes Wild Dog, however. Here comes Buster Toast. They secure D-Loon, and he is dead. Dagus is gonna get stunned momentarily by the parallel convergence, but Pectus is gonna try to take down Divine Cameron, and he does. He can hold Pectus with the damage. Wild Dog has arrived as well. They will take down the jungler, so they are gonna get some kills in return, but D-Loon's on the bottom side now, taking down another inhibitor. Flash, let's bounce, we'll pull the jungler and top laner into the team. Wild Dog trying to deal out as much damage as he can. He's got to be careful. Stro has arrived, but Prophet could go down. Dagus will take the kill. This 2v2 in the mid lane is going to get the stretching strikes on the Stro. Stro's pretty low as the electrocute does activate. Buster Toast has his passive. Stro's got to get out of here. He's going to lose his life. That's not worth. Pectus gets the kill. Is it going to be a double kill to Pectus, and he's 3-0.
Game 5.
Oh my goodness.
Expect this game 5. I expected a little.
Woo! Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to ABL Esports here for the ABL Series Week 2. It is good to be back here for day number 1. I'm your host, as always, Yeso, bringing you the play-by-play. And joining me for color commentary on the caster desk today, my good friend Zoob, for his second cast on the season. Did pretty damn well last week. I'm excited to see what you got this time around.
Hello. I didn't really prepare anything, but I got home like 20 minutes ago, so we'll see how this goes.
All the preparation you need. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us tonight. Certainly excited to kick off the second week of the season as we start to head towards playoffs. Certainly excited for the level of play we have seen so far. We did get to see 2 great 3-game series last week, and the level of play has certainly been pushed this season with the league moving to a gold to plat elo for its players. So it certainly showed last week that level up in play, and we will get to see more of that this week as we will have a series between No Name Necessary and Full Send Gaming, 2 teams near the bottom of the power rankings coming into this week after both dropping their series in week number 1. No Name Necessary losing to Team Royal Luck in a reverse sweep, as well as Full Send Gaming losing to Schism actually in a 2-0 or an 0-2 series. If you're curious about the power rankings or any other news about the league, make sure to head over to ablseries.com. The week 2 power rankings are there, and we are going to discuss that here momentarily. Schism sits atop here after dominating Full Send, and we saw Full Send drop like a rock, dropping 3 spots to 7th in the power rankings. What are your thoughts on the power rankings here going into week 2? I know there's certainly a small sample size, but I think there's certainly quite a few teams that impressed early in the season.
Yeah, so based on the power rankings alone, I don't think they're the most accurate they could be, of course, because it's so early. But based on what I've heard from other teams and players, Schism and Reign of Kings number 1 and 2 is probably right. I've heard that both of those teams are like absolutely crushing. So that's probably right. After that, I think that maybe Full Send's rated a little lower just because they lost to Schism, but I think Schism is just really good. Like, I don't really blame Full Send for it. I think that if they get the picks they need, Full Send can definitely win a lot of the rest of the season. They just had like a really rough week 1 like matchup.
Now, another article we do have up on the site are the week 2 day 1 matchup predictions. We have no name necessary and Full Send obviously here on the stream, but there also will be another match going on tonight. Team Royal Luck facing off against Reborn Gaming, a couple of teams that won in reverse sweep fashion. Actually, both of those teams winning on stream last week. And a little bit of a breakdown for both of these series. Within the article, they talk about the win condition for no name necessary being the top side of the map, thinking that Dagus is a point of pressure to play around in the top lane, and they think for Full Send, their path to victory is going to be through the bottom lane. How do you feel about both of those win conditions for these two teams?
So, the thing about the top side win condition for no name necessary is they're actually not using Doggis. I don't think they're going to be using Swift in the top lane. Looks like they might go with Doggis jungle, which I'm not sure like what's going on there, but it does look like Swift is playing in the top lane. And Swift is definitely more of a carry player than Doggis, so I think the top lane win condition still is true. Last week, Bidanki looked okay. I think that if he can just survive the matchup against Swift, then I think that Team Full Send will definitely be fine like throughout the rest of the game because of how strong Ozzy and Froge are on champions. For instance, Froge is really good at Twitch. I expect to see a Twitch ban here. If they give Froge Twitch, I'm pretty sure the game's just over. Ozzy is really good on a lot of champions, but specifically, I would like to see a Twitch ban because the win condition on the bot side is absolutely true. You Myron, bro, did not look very good last week, and I think that Froge has the ability to take over the bot lane, and I think that Jihoon Kim, if they play around the jungle right, that top side can definitely be a winning point for N3.
The fan prediction gave a 60% chance, or 60% of them thinking Full Send will take this series. Do you think it's as tight as they predicted it, or do you see this going a different way possibly?
So based on last week, No Name Necessary looked kind of bad with a sub support and a sub top, right? But this week they have Penguin back. They have their actual support back. This week they have their actual top laner, their starting top laner back. And Doggis is looking to play in the jungle. I'm not sure who jungled for them last week. I don't really remember. But right now he's lined up to play in the jungle. And then the other thing with the Full Send is they also have an upgrade. Should be upgrade. They actually switched out their jungler who looked really, really bad last week. I believe he went 0-12 in their series, like all throughout it. He was like 0-12. And now they have a new jungler playing today, Ice Slave Bot. He has a lot of good champions that he plays. Jarvan, Sejuani, Zac, Kha'Zix, a bunch of meta champions that, I mean, if he pulls them out and he knows how to play them, I think that that's going to be a really strong point for Full Send Gaming in comparison to last week where their jungler just kind of let them down. And as 60-40, I mean, it's hard to tell just because they've changed so much. I think that it's going to be a good series, but if like the roster switch makes too much of a difference on either team, you know, it could skew the percentage chance of teams winning.
Now, since we have the time, we might as well discuss the other series we do have going on tonight, Team Royal Luck versus Reborn Gaming. And if you check out the win conditions in the predictions article, Superior Macro is highlighted for Team Royal Luck, talking about just what they were able to do in those second and third games. They were very much able to control the pace, and against Reborn, who had to make a comeback themselves after struggling in the first game of their series. Do you think that Superior Macro is just going to be too overwhelming for Reborn in that series? I mean, that's a 70-30 prediction from the ABL fan base.
Yeah, so Team Royal Luck did look really good in games 2 and 3 last week. Reborn Gaming looked okay in games 2 and 3. Their coach was talking a lot about how they were kind of trolling in the first game from both teams, actually. So we should see. I mean, the macro from Team Royal Luck did look really good, and Reborn Gaming didn't seem to have like the cleanest of macros. They seemed to just kind of, get some kills and then push objective. It was almost like a solo queue plat game, like from what I was watching, in comparison to Team Royal Luck, where I felt like they actually had some synergy going. So it's gonna be. I believe Team Royal Luck actually played together before the ABL series. They were in some other league together as a team. So also the thing with Team Royal Luck is their star support. So far, I remember last week he popped off on the Alistar a lot of times. And games 2 and 3, I believe he like got on top of the 80 carries in both games. What was his name? A little favor. Yeah, he looked really good on the Alistar, so I think that that's going to be a huge pick going into it, and maybe a Tom Kench counter pick. I think that the bot lane matchup is going to be really big in that series.
All right, I couldn't agree more. Certainly excited to see just what kind of results we do get out of this week's matches. But as we do prepare to get into the game here for this series between No Name Necessary and Full Send Gaming, just a couple of pieces of business to remind you folks of here. Make sure to tune in tomorrow night as well, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. We will be featuring Vital Point Storm facing off against Elevated Gravity on the stream tomorrow, so make sure to tune in for that. I want to thank so much everybody that is joining us tonight. However, if you want to support us, obviously continue to watch the stream. Other ways you can support us, you can hit that follow button, or the subscribe button, excuse me, at the top right of our stream. Also consider checking out the donation link at the bottom of our description, as well as we want to do send out some thanks to Beaver Buzz Energy, the official energy drink of the ABL series. Thank you so much to them for their support, and we look forward to getting this match here for you momentarily. Just do need to clarify, there was a little bit of a hiccup in getting these teams prepared for the match. Froge's account was actually hacked, so he will be playing on a separate account, but it is the same player. He will be going by Savor Flavor tonight, and that is the account he will be using, but it is the same player, it's just Froge. So we will hopefully be getting into match here momentarily, and we can give you the roster rundown on blue side. For game number 1 will be No Name Necessary, with Jihoon Kim moving from support up to his comfort zone of the top lane. Dagus getting bumped down to the jungle for No Name Necessary. Pectus Escavadas, their mid laner, one of the best players of the last season's playoffs when he was on Ender the Beast. Myrimbra, the AD carry for No Name Necessary, and ZGM Penguin returning from exile to support this lineup.
Yeah, and on the red side we have Full Send Gaming. B Danky again in the top lane. Their new jungler, Ice Slave Bot. Looking forward to seeing what he's going to do. Ozzy in the mid lane. Froge on a different account in the AD carry role. And Inhibition in the bottom lane.
Alrighty, we should be into draft here just momentarily, but thank you so much for joining us, folks. And if you could just let them know we are ready to go.
Sure.
We can get into this match. Get on my hotkeys ready, grab my water. Whew! Ready for some matches. Gonna have to pee the middle of the first game, man.
Nah, I can hold it. I'm pretty good at holding it. Not that
Just
it's
gotta say,
healthy.
how about them Eagles, baby? Yeah! Woo! Super Bowl champs.
Oh,
I was
Pectus is in need of ref room, so
Oh no.
might have another delay.
Oh no. Let me just make sure we are getting that taken care of. Yep. Pectus is down there. He's getting helped out. Did you watch the Super Bowl yesterday, Zoob?
No, I worked yesterday. Like, I delivered pizzas, so I was kind of busy.
Oh yeah. That's like one of your busier days of the year, is it not?
It was supposed to be, but it actually wasn't busy at, like, whenever the Super Bowl started. It actually didn't get busy until like 6 o'clock, and then we stayed busy from like 6 to 9, and then I left, and it was already over at that point. So, you know,
Bummer.
I don't really watch football anyways, so it's fine. I was watching the LCS yesterday while I was driving around.
No spoilies. No spoilies. Still need to watch.
All I'm gonna say is that my favorite team won. They went 2-0 this week. So
Glad I don't know who that is.
I know.
Thank you to Gacytron for resubscribing with Twitch Prime. Appreciate the support, my man. Did anybody else watch that Super Bowl yesterday? Thoughts on that game? I know it's not esports, but as an Eagles fan myself, I'm still super, super hyped from that game. Let's see.
How do I change my picture on Discord?
You have to click on your picture, or click on the little gear icon at the bottom left of the screen near your name.
Okay.
And
Edit.
then go to my account, and you can edit it there.
Change it to a picture of Krillin.
Nah, dude, if you're an MHA fan, you should change it to like Bakugo, so we can rock.
You want me to be Bakugo?
Do you watch
Why
My Hero
Bakugo?
Academia?
What about what are you doing? What about Todoroki? He's my favorite, bro.
I mean,
Who
you
are
can
you?
do Todoroki too. That's fine.
Are you already Todoroki? Oh no, you're Deku.
I'm Deku, man.
Okay, I can go for Todoroki. We gotta get Fridge and audio into this.
Everybody we should make Fridge like Uraraka.
That would be great. We're
Our-
in the champ select now.
Yes, we are. Champ select for game number 1 between No Name Necessary and Full Send Gaming. Just right off the bat, any bans you think are pretty much clear that we will see in this first ban phase between these two teams?
Yeah, like I said earlier, the Twitch ban, first ban already. I
you
think
go.
that was the
Good
biggest
call.
pick. Maybe the Z ban by No Name Necessary if they're feeling like drafting their bans exactly like as counter picks and whatnot instead of just what's meta. The Karma ban from the side of Full Send Gaming. I actually haven't looked at Penguin's OPGG because last week he didn't play, so I didn't really look. So I'm not sure exactly if he's been playing a lot of the Karma. It's not exactly the most meta of picks, so I'd imagine that it has to be one of his better champions. Narban, standard. Maybe, well, the Nar kind of signals that maybe he wants to play something like Gangplank. I mean, any really kind of bruiser has like the not very much fun time except for like Riven against Nar because the range versus melee matchup. The Camille against Jihoon Kim makes sense. I believe it's one of his most played champs.
And we were talking before we actually went live about that the top lane meta, and you mentioned Nar and Camille strong picks, but both banned away, so we won't see either of them moving around the top lane this time.
And it's just like last week whenever I was complaining so much about the fact that neither of those teams were taking the best top laners. Like Camille, Nar, and Gangplank went unbanned and unpicked in like all 3 games. And I was just absolutely amazed. I'm hoping that they actually managed to pick one of those champions in this series, because if we continue to get the kind of drafting in, I'm not sure what these teams are thinking, you know? Like last week we saw every single game and on stream was lost because of the top lane pick, in my opinion. There was not enough pressure developed by the top lane picks, and they were just outscaled or not useful because of the pick themselves.
You certainly could have played for Full Tilt Gaming last week after all those
absolutely.
top lane picks.
The Kog'Maw pick is super standard. Probably the best AD carry in the game right now whenever it comes to 5v5s. And solo queue, I'd say Varus is better just because Kog'Maw's a little more team dependent.
Yeah, we did see the pentakill on Tuesday night stream from the Kog'Maw, and now the Orianna is banned away by Full Send, and then they actually immediately pick away the Lulu. Janna's still available to protect the Kog'Maw, but will certainly be a little bit more susceptible to any sort of engage that Full Send does draft.
So No Name Necessary took the Lulu away, which is pretty big, and then they took the Tristana, which means that they can look to win the lane, and they can also look to scale pretty well themselves. The Tristana pick scales super hard, but she also has a decent to strong early game, whereas the Kog'Maw has a decent to strong laning phase as well, but it depends on the support pick here. If they go for something like the Tom Kench to help save the Kog'Maw, then they're gonna lose the lane because it's melee versus ranged. And there's the Braum, so it is melee versus ranged. It's gonna be a harder lane. The Kog'Maw just needs to farm, get to his Rage Blade, and maybe Wit's End or run-ins or whatever he decides to go for a second item. And that's whenever he can come online and start taking over the game, hopefully. 4 and 3. Not that I have a favorite or anything. Really.
Now, would you say that No Name Necessary should heavily prioritize picking No name necessary should prioritize picking winning lanes now from the mid and top.
So the fact that they just picked Malzahar shows that they do just want to kind of shove out the lane. I think a Talia pick here by Ozzy would be really strong because Talia can actually match his shove power, kill all his minions super fast. It's just a good pick into it. Besides that, I think that, yeah, I mean, they can't actually get a winning top lane matchup. The Azir pick, I mean, they could definitely still do well in the Malzahar. But I think that they should definitely still be looking to get a strong top laner, even if they don't necessarily get a counter pick, just like a strong all-around top laner. At this point, I mean, what is Jihoon gonna play? You know, because he's kind of a wild card when it comes to his picks. It's not gonna be, you know, right now, if you were looking at pro play, it'd be like, oh, their Gangplank stands out. You know, like that's the best top lane left. But do either of these top laners play Gangplank? I don't think we saw P. pull it out at all last week when it was open 3 games. And Jihoon Kim, I mean, I'm not sure if he plays it or not. I think that it would be banned if he actually played it. Besides that, I mean, he just needs something that's going to at least be like a decent blind pick, because I'd imagine they saved the top lane counter pick for P. unless they have some weird jungle pick plan.
Yeah, and we haven't seen junglers picked, and they're now getting focused in the second ban phase. And one I do want to highlight, the Nunu is available, pairs very well with the Azir, and even the Tristana with that Blood Boil. So, going to be interesting if possibly Full Send wants to go for that pick, if it does in fact make it through the second ban phase.
Yeah, so if Full Send does pick up the Nunu, then No Name Necessary needs to look to get a very strong aggressive jungler. Something that has really good gank pressure, maybe like the Jarvan. Just so that you could try and snowball mid lane before you just get outscaled at that point. Because, you know, the Azir Tristana with Lulu and Nunu is going to be super strong in the late game. Nunu doesn't necessarily have the best skirmishing, so 2v2s are going to go in the favor of, say, like a Malzahar Jarvan or something. Any other, maybe like a Malzahar Nidalee or whatever they decide. I think Nidalee would actually be bad here because they'd have too much AP. But yeah,
there's the Nunu pick. Yeah, and I guess you mentioned that mid lane, and that is such a linchpin there for this Nunu strategy, because if you heavily win that mid lane, you make it so much more difficult for the Nunu to make the, you know, quote-unquote plays around the map that he wants to in the early game. He wants to be able to invade. He wants to be able to take some neutral objectives like Drake early. And if you're winning that mid lane hard, it makes that Malzahar so much more able to roam around the map and prevent the Nunu from taking those objectives. Interestingly enough, they're going to get the Ace Soul here. Is this possibly a top lane Malzahar? Or a jungle?
That's a dodge. That was a dodge for sure. Yeah, I would have liked to see maybe Jihoon Kim play the Jace there. That'll be like a strong top laner that can win his lane, have push priority in the early game, and then they would have a really strong top side for the side of N3. I know Jihoon plays Jace. If they get a really strong top side, then the Nunu's pretty much useless top side. They win the 3v3. Both 2v2s should go in the favor if they get Jace and then a strong jungler like Jarvan. And Jace doesn't have too many counter picks. Trying to think of one, really.
I mean, I guess just the one problem you've run into with Jace is falls off towards the later game, not as strong in 5v5 team fights.
Yeah, sure, but at this point, think about the drafts. Full Send Gaming has drafted a full team fight comp, whereas N3 hasn't. They've drafted more of a pick comp style, I would say, where they have like Malzahar and Braum. So they're looking to get picks more than just 5v5, because I believe that FSG, if it's an even or if FSG has the lead in gold, that they will just win the 5v5s for sure. So maybe their best bet actually would be to split push, get ahead early in the top side, and, you know, Jihoon Kim playing Jace would be a strong blind pick, and I think it would be able to split push and get ahead early. And if Pectus takes the spell book, then he should be able to actually swap to TP and split push as well. So a 1-3-1 style might be coming through here for No Name Necessary, if they decide to listen to me. If not, you know, it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, then you'd almost, though, if you want to go a 1-3-1 with a Kog'Maw, you're going to want to pick something that can peel very well for that Kog'Maw, because, you know, the Braum is certainly good, but without any sort of you know, shielding from that team, he can still be fairly susceptible if you can get around that Braum and engage on that 3-man unit. So what kind of jungler would you like to see then from No Name necessary if they do take
Well,
that split push on the top side.
you say that, but the problem right now with Full Send Gaming's draft is that they actually don't really have that much engaged. What do they have? Like a Flash Nunu, a Insect Tristana, like an Insect Azir. I mean, you don't really want to try and send either of your carries into Insect a team for an engage, you know? Sending the Tristana or Azir into the back line with a Malzahar might actually just be the worst idea possible. So it's weird because right now FSG has no engage. So if they do run the 1-3-1, I think that would be actually N3's best chance of winning right now. If they run the 1-3-1, FSG has no engage. They have a really good team fight, and the side of N3 really just does want to be running the 1-3-1 at this point, looking to get picks, looking to split push better. I mean, Azir really, he can match the split push, but he's never going to, he should never get a solo kill on Malzahar, you know? And if they have a Jace on the side of N3, what's going to solo kill Jace? A Fiora late game maybe? But does Bidanki play it? Like, it all comes down to champion pool, I would say, at this point. I'm going to look up Bidanki's OPGG and see what we might see.
Yeah, and I guess we do have to say we have no idea what No Name Necessary does want to select on the jungle and top side as of yet, considering that Asol was a misclick there, but we do get the Nunu locked in, so these last 3 picks will reveal a lot. They'd go Shyvana and Maokai. Interesting. That would be the top side of the map there for No Name Necessary, and that isn't really going for the split push. I mean, the Shyvana isn't a slouch, but you know, the Maokai doesn't really get you that lead in the top side.
At this point, I believe that FSG kind of can just win throughout all parts of the game because Nunu's going to have free reign to take over the Shyvana's jungle. Shyvana can't, like, the whole point of Nunu is to get in the enemy's jungle and counter jungle. An early game Shyvana's not going to be able to stop. An early game Maokai is going to be not out shoving a Shen. Like a Shen, once he gets Tiamat, is going to have him shoved in the whole time. Once he gets this Balmy Cinder, he's going to be shoving in because just the passive burn on all the minions and stuff. So the Maokai pick with Shyvana was a little weird to me because I guess they're looking to match the scaling, but even so, just because you scale doesn't mean you have a better team fight. Whereas you have like a protect the carries comp with Nunu, Lulu, Shen, and I believe the 5v5 by FSG is going to be way stronger. And they did nothing to help shut down the Nunu. They did. And all FSG has to really do in this game is play safe and farm up, and they don't even need engage. They can literally play around Baron. They can play and force N3 to play into them. N3 picked the Maokai. They're probably going to be looking to engage, you know? They have the Malzahar, they have the Braum, but once they engage, I believe they just lose the 5v5. So that's exactly what FSG is going to be looking to play into, is just baiting the enemies into engaging and then just winning the 5v5.
Yeah, and I think honestly that Shen pick was so smart there at the end, because not only, you know, does it give you a solid top laner to just, you know, farm up and scale well and get tanky, and then obviously you make that, you know, Tristana and Azir harder to kill. It also very much counters that, you know, pick style that N3 might want to play. If the Malzahar is roaming around trying to, you know, kill the carries of Full Send Gaming, Bidanki has his ultimate, you know, ready to go to just ult onto one of his carries and save them. So it's going to make that much more difficult for N3 to get those picks and avoid that team fighting phase by building a big enough lead in the early game.
Yeah, and with the Maokai and the Shyvana can look to burst down any picked off targets, whereas the Maokai can also look to have strong disengage. He can also have decent pick potential if he decides to go for like a Righteous Glory, or if they set up like a Death Bush. They have decent pick potential. I think that's the best way for them to win. But even if you have decent pick potential, you still have a Shen. Likely Lulu will get Moby boots. It's gonna be hard for sure to get picks. And yeah, I think that they kind of just outdrafted themselves in the last 2 picks on the side of N3.
Certainly going to have to be interesting to see just how this game shakes out here to start this series between No Name Necessary and Full Send Gaming. Both of these teams looking for their first match victory of the season after dropping their respective matches in week number 1.
So Malzahar actually got nerfed in this last patch. He's He's still going to be super useful late game, but like I believe his Q damage was nerfed, and then his ultimate cooldown at the early ranks is nerfed. So you can still have he still has spellbook. He's still going to have that 40-second ultimate come level 16. So that's still going to be super strong in the late game, where they're going to be looking really hard to find picks if they can get there. If the Tristana and Lulu, like I said, should win Wayne, if they manage to smash the lane and run over the bot lane, run over you, Myron, bro, and Penguin, then you won't get to the point where the Mouse ult's going to be on a 40-second cooldown where you can just flash ult every 3 minutes or whatever, that Malzahar likes to do. Um, but also, if they can survive the bot lane, then Kog'Maw at 1 to 2 items is going to be a lot stronger than, or at least like 1 item Kog'Maw is going to be a lot stronger than 1 item Tristana if they're even in gold.
All right, well, we are about to get into game number 1. Thanks again, everybody, for joining us tonight on the cast. Got 2 to 3 games for you tonight. Certainly very excited to have my friend Sue joining me here to cast these games, and very much ready for some ABL League of Legends to get going here.
Can we, if anyone in chat has any opinions on these team comps? Skywish says both look good. Do you think that either one of them has a win, like a clear advantage over the other one? Like I do, I seem to believe that uh, that FSG has a better comp in comparison to No Name Necessary. Skywish still with us.
In Pucklet, I'm always missing good hockey puck, but something's got to
Hockey
sacrifice to watch some.
Get it? He said hockey puck. Got him.
Got to make some sacrifices though to be able to be here and cast the ABL, which I certainly love to do every week. And we are in to game number 1. No Name Necessary and Full Send Gaming facing off, looking for their first victory of the season. Now you talk about the early game and the strength of this bottom lane for Full Send, combining the Tristana and Lulu. How at risk do you see this Kog'Maw and Braum lane? Obviously, they do have the crowd control using Braum's concussive blows, but
Yeah, so that is one thing, a good thing to point out, is that because of his concussive blows, Shyvana Q can actually like stun either one of them really fast. Preferably probably the Lulu, because Tristana can just jump and her buffer can like cancel out CC and stuff. So I think that would be something to look at, but I'm not sure. We've never seen Doggus in the jungle, so I'm not sure if he's going to be looking to make those plays, if this is something they've planned, or if I'm not sure if they're like really expecting to do that or not. I think they might just be looking to put Doggus in the jungle to try and power farm, but Nunes is going to be there to just take your camps with consume.
yeah, the one thing is with Tristana and Lulu, they're going to push that lane fairly well and fairly quickly, so Daggus could have plenty of opportunities to gank the bot lane, and if they don't ward up well, there certainly could be opportunities to get, to use those concussive blows. I guess, as you mentioned, we haven't seen Daggus in the jungle, so it's going to be interesting to just see how proactive he is in the early game, just where he is prioritizing and just how well he is pathing around the map to try and get his team through this early game and get them scaling up. But as you mentioned in the draft, plenty good scaling on the side of Full Send as well, so definitely can't just lean on that late game. No Name Necessary.
And the thing is with Shyvana, you really don't you don't want to be ganking early, especially against the Nunu, because Shyvana, you want to get your levels, you want to get strong before you do anything. You want to get the dragons, you want to be like power farming really. Whereas the Nunu, his only job is to go in your jungle and take your camps. If the Shyvana does decide to gank, she's going to lose an entire half of her camps, because Nunu can just walk in and clear that entire half super fast and deny her. He's already going to be denying your camps if he's playing the pick right anyways. So I mean, yes, he could be looking for a gank, but it would actually set him really far behind, and I don't know if it would be worth it. Whereas it's just weird. Like, we're gonna have to see how they play it, because there's a couple ways that they could play it, and I think it's a lose-lose situation 4 and 3.
All right, apologies for this early pause. Hopefully going to have this one resolved. And
Yeah,
just as I
resuming now.
say it, we are unpausing right now. And we're going to get this game started between No Name Necessary and Full Send. 5-man unit of No Name Necessary moving out towards the red side jungle. Do we possibly get an early fight here? They could catch out the bottom lane.
Yeah, they're
Death
looking
Brush
for
is set up. Oh, this could be so
Lulu's gonna walk
free.
into
This
it.
Lulu's going to step up.
Oh.
Inhibition seems
Does he know?
suspicious.
I love that song.
Inhibition. Inhibition seems to know. Good good slow play here by the Lulu. Could be caught.
Oh, no.
Oh, there's the Q. Concussive blows will stun the support, and that's first blood to Pectus. That's huge. The early start for the Malzahar.
Such a bad mistake. I mean, you should know this is the ABL. There's always the level 1 cheese. If you're not doing it, the other team is. There's always someone doing it. So you should have just known. I mean,
And it seemed like Inhibition even knew hitting the
I
emote. Like
he had a feeling. Like he definitely had a feeling, and then he just went for it anyways. Yeah, and what Danny Boy G, aka Gordson, is saying, where TNN's looking for a pick, but on the carries of Azir and Tristana, but Azir and Tristana are super hard to get picks on because they both have disengage. They have the Azir wall and then the Tristana jump and Tristana ult. So it's like the team comps are definitely weird. We're gonna have to see how they play. If TNN can get ahead early, they can definitely look to win this game. That would be the only way I would see that they could. Not the only way, but like the best way, I would say, for them to look to win.
right now, as we see this early game starting, something I do want to check, considering we have a Nunu in the game, it is going to be a Mountain Drake to start this off, so I would be very surprised to not see Isolate Bot playing aggressively, trying to secure that Drake very early in this game, but Pectus getting that early kill doesn't make his job any easier in trying to secure this early objective.
Yeah, and he didn't even back after he got the kill. He's actually just went straight to the lane. He didn't get to spend the gold, so it's not going to net him any advantage in the laning phase. Whenever he, I guess on his first back though, it'll be pretty nice. But Ozzy should still have the push advantage in this lane early on. He's walking straight to Shyvana's empty jungle.
Pectus seems like he wants to go in on Ozzy. Is going to eat a little bit of damage from the soldiers, but does get the space aids onto the Azir. Isolate Pot is bot side, but Nunu's ganks are not very powerful, and with the team, or with the bot lane already under their own tower, Isolate Bot just going to go take the Krugs early, try and get some counter jungling going onto this Shyvana. The question is will Doggus be confident enough to go and push into Isolate Bot's red side jungle this early in the game?
I think he definitely should, because of the fact that you know that Nunu is at your Krugs. At that point, Shyvana had done 3 camps whenever they saw them down there, so you know Nunu did probably about 3 camps. He had his red buff and blue buff, which means at the very most, the only thing that can be missing is one of his bottom side camps or one of his top side camps, likely not the Krugs. So he either did Raptors or Gromp, and then went straight bot side. They saw him bot side, so he definitely should have looked to go top lane, just because he had a push advantage in the top lane. Or he should have looked to go topside jungle and take some farm, just because he had the push advantage top lane. He knew exactly what camps, or around what camps should be up. It was weird now that he's pathing back top. I'm not sure what he's looking for. He already took the Scuttle Crab. Maybe he's trying to find Nunu, but he's still bot side. Chooses to recall before walking in there. Likely Nunu will path topside here, and he's not going to have the Raptor camp up, maybe not the Krug camp up, if Shyvana decides to stay. And there's not really much that Nunu's laners can do about it, because they're both shoved in, top and mid.
Yeah, if I was Nunu right now, I would want to get vision on the Shyvana immediately, and then see if you can set up for this early Drake. Yeah, Jihoon Kim going to try and collapse to assist his jungler. Bedenki heading that way as well. But looks like Dagger should be able to just back away pretty safely. Does want to come over and try and steal these Krugs. And actually is going to force Isolate Bot away. Now Saber Flavor, a.k.a. Froge, backing away. Uses the rocket jump as the Q from the Braum did land. But pretty safe, not able to activate the concussive blows. And spot lanes will just back up and continue to farm out.
Ooh, Nunu walks right past his little raptor. Oh, he goes back to it too. I was gonna say if he didn't take that little raptor, he'd be really screwing himself out of the respawn timer. Otherwise, that little raptor, I believe, would just sit there forever until someone clears it.
Now I really want to see Isolate Bot go for this Drake already. I know I've mentioned it already like 4 times, but the Nunu isn't used to its full potential if you aren't playing aggressively onto these neutral objectives in the early game. You can really just dominate Drake control with this champion. And
Yeah, absolutely. And Nunu actually has already the Tracker's Knife and 2 pink wards, so they can deny the vision in the Dragon Pit. It looks like Ozzy is looking to get some vision in the bottom side jungle. Not quite seeing Dargus there, but they should be able to deny the vision for the Dragon. Set it up, make sure that Dargus doesn't get to solo the Drake level 4 like Shyvana's like to do. Not sure if they saw each other. It looks like Shyvana saw Nunu, but I don't think... maybe they both saw each other.
yeah, Pectus actually bumped down as well and did see the Nunu as he retreated back to the river. It seems like they do have vision on him right now, so risky for Isolate Bot to go for that Drake right now. Looks like he'll just take the Scuttle Crab and back away to his own jungle, possibly going to go pick up his red buff as it is about to spawn. And Shyvana just back to trying to farm up, going to take her red buff as well, and just going to hopefully get to that level 6 sooner rather than later.
Yeah, and the bot lane for Full Send has been pushed in the whole time. They are still even in gold though, so I mean it's actually probably the best for Tristana because she does not like as a champion to farm under tower. Her passive, or her E passive, is just like makes it really hard to farm under tower, and Kog'Maw has no problems because he does have the Q to farm.
Yeah, Dagus coming down to the bot side, but really no gank potential at this point. And the follow-up from the bottom lane not fast enough, so
yeah,
nothing going. And then Dagus, as you mentioned earlier, will just be slowed down in the farming. Oh, CGM does want to go for Saber Flavor here. Does throw up the wall. Does Full Send want to turn this around? The Satchel Charge will explode and get damage onto both of the bot lane members. As CGM and the Myron Bruh forced to retreat.
Yeah, and before that failed gank that Shyvana just did, Isolate Bot was down like 4 CS, and well, 4 CS, but you know, at jungle, so he's down about a camp, and now Isolate Bot actually just got 2 camps to Shyvana's 0, and now she has to pat down back to bottom side to look at this dragon, and she can't go to the top side where her camps are. There are no camps on the bottom side, so unless she steals this dragon, she's just wasting time.
Yeah, this should be pretty free for Full Send. Looks like Dagus could be caught. Yeah, the Buster Shot will knock the Shyvana away. That's a free Drake who suppressed is Ozzy in full retreat and actually is going to go down, or not Ozzy, excuse me, that was Inhibition, and the double kill will go to Jihoon Kim. A 3-for-0 fight actually in favor of No Name Necessary, but the Mountain Drake does still go to Full Send.
Yeah, and Bidenki did not have the TP there, whereas Jihoon Kim managed to TP. All of No Name Necessary just left.
Yeah, a good collapse there. They do lose the Drake, but a good job from No Name Necessary responding, knowing that Full Send does want to play around those early Drakes and punishing the aggressive move there from iSlaveBot and the rest of his team. Bidenki not showing up in the bot side. And now is going to have to just force and try and push the top lane. A good play there from No Name Necessary.
Yeah, and Tristana is actually about 100 gold down from Kog'Maw, which isn't too much, except for the fact that you kind of want to see Tristana with the early lead. The one item, like I said earlier, is going to be Kog'Maw's strongest point over the Tristana, because, you know, if Tristana has Infinity Edge versus Kog'Maw's Ginsu's, the Kog'Maw is just going to win in team fights, or maybe not in the 1v1 because Lulu Braum, maybe not even a 2v2. But in terms of total damage that they can output in a team fight or in a skirmish, the Kog'Maw is going to do more damage. And right now, also, I think the Malzahar ult is going to be like super impactful for whenever he has it, for at least until Ozzy's like level 13 or so. And then I think that Ozzy and iSlaveBot both need to kind of level up a bit, get some points into Nunu's W, and then get some points into just get some levels on Azir's and get some items for him. And at that point, I think that they could definitely be looking to win skirmishes, win team fights, because they'll just be too strong. Tristana will have another item, and Tristana 2 and 3 items. Tristana is super strong. The Shen ult is going to come in really nicely for either Azir or Tristana. I'm not sure why he didn't have it that fight. I don't know if it got canceled or if he canceled it himself after people started dying. I didn't really see it. I'm about to go back and watch it.
And I think one other thing to note here as well with the CS numbers in the bottom lane, with the pushing lane, you would expect the Tristana shoving the Kog'Maw consistently under his own tower that she would be able to just build a good CS lead, but Umayambra has done a good job of farming under his own tower and has actually got a CS lead now as they push the bot side, as we are now back to live in this game. So a good job there from the no-name necessary bot laner, keeping up with his CSing under tower and not allowing this Tristana to build an early lead in that department.
Yeah, and like you were saying, it should be hard for anyone to farm under tower technically, but Kog'Maw has that Q, which is like pretty much an extra auto, like an auto reset, so that makes it a lot easier to farm as under tower as Kog, whereas Tristana struggles to farm under tower. And I went back and looked, and Bidenki did use his ult, but he used it on either Lulu or Nunu, who both ended up dying before it completed. So that's why he did not manage. He was also super late on the ult. Maokai actually completed his teleport before the Shen ult even started. So Bidenki definitely needs to be paying more attention before these fights erupt like that, or else the Shen pick would be pretty much useless.
Yeah, more proactive ultimates from the Shen will definitely benefit Full Send here in the long run. Now Ozzy trying to get the push going in the mid lane, but it's going to be difficult against that Malzahar, and it seems like the Lulu does want to move up to the mid lane, possibly trying to set this up. Brahms here as well. So it seems like both of these mid laners are fairly safe at this point. The bot laner's going to go back down to the bot side and start farming again, and the next neutral objective to play around is the Rift Herald, but not sure after that misplay that Full Send will be as aggressive to go for that objective this early, at least not without establishing significant vision on the blue side of No Name Necessary.
For sure. They have it warded, so as long as they don't, you know, just suicide in top mid, they should be fine. Weird decision to go in.
Yeah, Ozzy gonna get caught here. Pectus will take the kill. 2-0-2 now on the Malzahar as he played a little too aggressively. Now Isolate bot has flash in the bot lane. Good ultimate from Inhibition. Umayambra going very low, and Savor Flavor will take the kill.
Yeah.
Good combo between the ultimate on the Nunu as well as the Wild Growth to get a lot of damage onto that Kog'Maw and take him down for Wilson's first kill.
Yeah, a lot just happened there, but it was a good flash ultimate from Nunu. Like I was telling you earlier, like they don't have a whole lot of engage on the side, so what is it, like flash ultimate from Nunu? And that's exactly what they just went for there. And they managed to kill the Kog'Maw, which is actually pretty big, because they just want to try and delay his game as much as possible. And then also Ozzy just, he probably was trying to click his ult instead of his E whenever he went forward. I'm not exactly sure, but I would assume that, because E-ing forward there didn't really make sense. He E'd right into a Malzahar ult. Shifted right into a Malzahar ult.
Yeah, certainly didn't do him a lot of good. This tier 1 on the bot side very low as Saber Flavor and him Inhibition have gotten quite a bit of damage after winning that fight.
Yeah, and Kog'Maw's about 500 gold off from hitting the Gintus. Once he gets that, he's going to be super strong. Whereas Saber Flavor Froge is actually looking to he has the BF and the Zeal, which is weird because it's likely going to be a static shift first, I would assume, and he needs about 400 more gold for that. But static shift BF versus just the Ginsus, I would still give that to just the Ginsus on Kog'Maw. If they can just get through that point and let Tristana get 2 to 3 items, then I think, like if they don't force any skirmishes, but then yeah, the Tristana will outscale. But right now, there's a Inferno Dragon coming up in a minute and a half, you know. like right after they're going to be looking back, looking to get that item. Kog'Maw is right now about 250 gold off from the Ginsus. Once he gets 250 gold, Dragon spawns in a minute and 20 seconds. He backs, comes back with the Ginsus, looks for the fight at the Dragon Pit. He's just going to be too strong. They have to give up this Infernal unless Nunu can steal it.
Yeah, we do have No Name Necessary now pushing into the blue side of Full Send here, trying to establish some vision so they can possibly set up to grab this Infernal Drake in a minute. Pectus going to force Ozzy to back away.
Ozzy needs to be careful here. Pectus has the ultimate available.
As well as his flash and Ghost.
Yeah, so Ozzy already suicided once into the Pectus's ult. I mean, I would hope he doesn't do it again. And Ozzy right now is getting the blue buff, but it's terrible timing because Pectus is about to take the mid tower.
Yeah, Ozzy going to have to be very careful clearing out that wave.
And actually, the top tier one is really low as well. Jihoon Kim has had BDK shoved in most of the lane. Isolated Bot hasn't visited top once. And not like he really can. You know, he's playing Nunu. He doesn't have the best exactly gank pressure. So it's a little bit weird for sure. But the bot lane back, he picked up, well, FSG's bot lane back. They pick up the static shield on Tristana, but right now, N3 is looking to just deny vision around Dragon area. I would like to see Kog'Maw back right now because he does have enough for the Ginsu's Rage Blade. I think not backing here and then taking the fight is a mistake.
Yeah, one thing to note is we do set up for a possible fight around this Drake as Isolate Bot in full retreat right now. The concussive blows do get proc. Ooh, Ozzy, good Emperor's Divide, knocks you Myron Bro into the team, and he's going to go down. That's the kill for the Azir. Now ultimate onto the Nunu, but he's going to stay alive. Pectus now in full retreat. Can they chase him down? But Danky is here as well. Ozzy, now they're on to Jihoon Kim. He's taking a lot of damage, eating it from 4 members. Inhibition in full retreat. The satchel charge is on him, and Ozzy will take the kill. That's 2 for the Full Send mid laner, and now No Name Necessary forced to back away. As that's a 1 fight there for Full Send.
Yeah, super bad play by No Name Necessary there in my opinion. They should have had Myron go back, pick up his Ginsu. He has flash up almost right now. It looks like it's about 30 seconds out. Why force a fight right then whenever you could just wait for Kog'Maw to have Ginsu's and flash available? The Kog'Maw would single-handedly win you the fight if he had those tools available to him, but instead they try to force the fight while Kog'Maw's sitting on, you know, his pickaxe and recurve bow. That's first turret over to Pectus, luckily for them, and the Infernal Drake actually hasn't been taken yet. So there is some bright sides to this, but they gave up a pretty big gold lead for almost no reason.
Saber Flavor in big trouble, uses a stopwatch. Cannon Impish to save him. The Wild Growth not available, actually, and actually able to rocket jump away, but Pectus is here. The Space Aids will help secure the kill as Dagus flashes away. Will the area be able to take him down? Ultimate from Pectus, but Danky is dead. That's the double kill to the Malzahar, and a misplay as Saber Flavor steps up way too far and gets ganked, and that's a pretty much free couple of kills there for No Name Necessary, just gifted to them by Full Send.
Yeah, I seem to have forgotten one critical win condition for No Name Necessary, and that is Pectus Escavatus hard carries, and it seems to be going pretty well right now for them.
Yeah, 5-0-2 on this Malzahar. Very, very strong. Already has the Merlinomicon. Now Ozzy wants to go in. Does get the Emperor's Divide, but it essentially just knocks ZGM Penguin up. Doesn't catch the Kog'Maw. Ultimate from Isolate Bot will take Myron Barrow down to about half health, and Ozzy will secure the kill. Jihoon Kim has arrived in the bot lane. Pectus is still here. Almost has the ultimate available as well as both summoner spells. This could be very risky. Now he's going to take some damage. Saber Flavor is going to get ulted onto, but Pectus is going to have to run away. Rocket jump. Pectus flashes over the wall, and here comes the rest of N3. Now they're going to try and get onto Saber Flavor. Saber Flavor trying to retreat as Dagus is running after him. Concussive blows. Oh, they're going to knock up. Good ultimate from the support, and Jihoon Kim will take down the Tristana. Now Pectus trying to retreat as well. Very low, 1 auto attack away, but his team able to zone away the rest of Full Send, and they're going to turn on to this Infernal Drake. A good fight there from No Name Necessary to dive in aggressively, and they're rewarded with a Drake and a few kills.
Yeah, and it was kind of weird because after the initial engage failed by Ozzy and Isolate Bot, well, not failed, I guess they killed the Kog'Maw, but after that they started another skirmish / team fight, and only Saber Flavor died. Again, No Name Necessary rage quitting, but Only Saber Flavor died, and I felt like there was a whole lot of fighting. We had like 2 stopwatches used. A bunch of people were super low. It was just kind of weird to see that like not a lot of people died in that. They do net the Infernal Drake, which is pretty huge considering they already lost the mountain.
Yeah, the one note I would have there for No Name Necessary is Pectus going in a little too aggressively. He did have the flank going, but did not have the support from his team yet, and ulted the Tristana with no backup damage, so wasn't able to really take full advantage of that suppression.
I think it would have been good if the Lulu wasn't there, but you know, you can't just assume that the Lulu's not going to be there. Lulu exhausted him at the very beginning of his ultimate. That's so much damage taken off from Malzahar. His whole combo was damage reduced. Like there was nothing. It would have been fine, and it was a fine assumption that Lulu would not have been there just because Lulu at that point was at like 200 HP or something. So it's kind of like weird that she was still there. But the fact that she was did save, or at least postpone Saber Flavor's death, Ferg's death. He actually didn't die from Malzahar. Malzahar was flashed away and then stopwatched to survive. And
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure what killed Ferg there.
Froge, it was Jihoon Kim secured the kill, stayed a little too long as the rest of No Name Necessary pushed under the tower, and then they got concussive blows as well as the Braum ultimate did knock up the Tristana and allowed them to secure that kill. As, yeah, you're correct, Pectus was backing away and did use his stopwatch to save his life. But he has been able to buy now his second item.
Yeah, and Pectus actually has a 2,000 gold lead in the mid lane over Ozzy right now. The item-wise alone, he has Morello, Leandres, and tier 2s, whereas Ozzy has Nash's Tooth, tier 2s, and a QSS. Just a lot stronger Malzahar than we have for Ozzy. If we look at just like the AP, Malzahar has 278, and Azir has 115. So pretty big difference there. Azir does have 1.27 attack speed. Decent, but he's definitely going to have a lot more AP coming in on the Azir pick as we're jumping back in the game.
Yes, back in the game, and just to update everybody on what we have so far, 8-5 lead in kills for No Name Necessary after a stronger early game than we would have predicted. Have been able to build up a 3,000 gold lead, and that Infernal Drake will only make the scaling more terrifying on that Kog'Maw. And they also been able to take the first tower as they did secure the mid lane tier 1, which will certainly open up the map here more for Doggus to try and get some invades and keep this Nunu down, who has been less effective than we at least expected from this early game power pick.
Yeah, and he definitely needs to be on the side of Full Send Gaming. Right now, they just need to be looking for the next dragon. Maybe not right now, but in a couple minutes, they need to be looking for it. They need to, at this point, they just need to get the farm on the carries. On Tristana and Azir need to be farming. Azir is super far behind in comparison to his laner. Tristana is fairly even with Kog'Maw, but if those two carries can get all the farm for the side of Full Send Gaming, then I believe that their scaling will come into play, and they could look to just win the late game. They're going to have a super strong smite or neutral objective presence just because they have Nunu.
Now, that may not be a 1-3-1 for No Name Necessary, but they can possibly try and set up the 1-4 as they have moved Pectus up to the top lane. He did take down that tier 1 tower. And he does push waves fairly quickly, and now they're going to move on to the Rift Herald.
They have the time, but it is warded, and it looks like they're not going to respond by Full Send Gaming.
Yeah, Isolate Bot has moved down to the bot side. Wildgrove, but he is going to be stunned, so that will not get out the full damage of the ultimate, but it doesn't matter. Saber Flavor takes the kill, and Umaira is dead. Rocket jump in, gets the reset, will take down the Brahmin. They're going to look for a tower here.
Yeah,
this is a pretty good trade for that Rift Herald.
Looks like Shyvana's going to maybe place a mid.
Doesn't have the minion wave though, so it wouldn't be advisable as of yet. And that's a tier 2 tower for Full Send. A good response as they get 2 kills and a tier 2 tower in exchange for the Rift.
Top, I'd imagine. Looking to get tier 2 top. with or without the Herald. And, you know, Herald basically almost guarantees the tower, so the fact that Full Send actually traded 2 for that is actually kind of worth it because they trade 2 towers for 1 essentially. Oh, and nice engage.
Yeah, Dagus is going to go down here as a good Emperor's Divide there from Ozzy. Knocks the Shyvana back into his team, and with the entire Full Send lineup up here, Jihoon Kim is not long for this world. The double kill to the Azir. The one good thing that No Name Necessary does have going is Pectus is on the bot side, takes their 4th tower of the game, but it looks like Full Send possibly wants to move for the Baron. They do have the damage, and with the Nunu, they can certainly take an early Baron here. An aggressive call from Full Send, but I like it.
They have so much damage. They have the Mountain Drake. They have Azir with the Nunu Blood Boil. They have Tristana with the Lulu buffs. And yeah, it just went down super, super fast. Nunu has such good Baron secure. It just didn't overstay there by N3 in the top side, or by by N3 in the top side with Dargus and Jihoon. They just overstayed for no reason really. And because Pectus has been splitting this whole time, he still has that 2,000 gold lead over Ozzy. Just because he's had taken those 2 towers and had solo farm that entire time.
So trading objectives across the map, are these teams a 5-2 lead now in towers for the side of No Name Necessary, but the problem they will have to deal with now is a Baron up Full Send Gaming, who are going to really look to push and knock down some towers of their own now. Rift Herald is still available for No Name Necessary, so if they can set up the minion waves right, could easily secure a tower, but they are slowly running out of time to use that.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to me that Myron Bros deciding to go Rage Blade, it looks like, or not Rage Blade, I'm sorry, Ruinous Hurricane, second item, because at this point I feel like maybe a Wit's End or a QSS or something to help him survive all the burst from Azir and from the new Flash ult. Just something to you know, help him, because he's been dying like the first thing every fight, and I can't imagine that he plans on doing any damage with the run-ins if he's dead. So it's just not an impressive showing by the Kog'Maw, and I think the itemization here is failed so far.
Yeah, Full Send now trying to push down the mid lane. Shyvana is showing up, so we could have the 5v5. Bedenki is on the top side, but does have teleport as well as his ultimate available. Now the question is, does Full Send want to keep pushing? It doesn't look like they do. With Drake up in 40 seconds, they may try and secure some vision and play for that.
Huge wave bot side for the side of FSG. They might... No, they're just going to back here. I think they definitely could have sent 3 or 4 members bottom there and used that giant wave to create a distraction. Let Bedenki push in the top wave, get the tier 1. To put some gold in their pocket instead. They're just going to give all this free farm to Kog'Maw. A lot of gold that they're just giving to him right now for free.
Yeah, now this Mountain Drake up in 10 seconds. IsolateBot has backed along with Saber Flavor, so they will be late to get up here, but Bedenki is pushing on the top side. Does have Demolition, so he's going to be able to take down that tower fairly quickly. With the Baron up creeps, would look to push for a second tower. Rift Herald was dropped by No Name Necessary in the mid lane. Can Full Send Gaming stall it? It is going to at least get a charge on that tier 2, and No Name Necessary actually using that distraction to move on to this Mountain Drake. They don't want to allow Full Send to start stacking these. The ultimate from Jihoon Kim will now slow down IsolateBot. Here comes the ultimate from Bedenki. Oh, flash in. There's the taunt. It's going to keep him in the Nunu ultimate, but it's canceled early, so not a lot of damage. Jihoon Kim forced to flash away. He's under half health. Flash away from the Braum as well. He can go down. Saber Flavor takes the kill. Now here come the Reeses from the Tristana. Now IsolateBot trying to chase down Umayra and Dagus. They're in full retreat. Looks like Full Send just wants to turn around for the Drake. Good conservative play call there. They win the fight, and they now can look for the objective. Does Dagus go for the steal here? Bedenki going to try and zone away the Shyvana, and that's the second Mountain Drake over to Full Send. Now they're going to try and chase down Dagus, force the flash away as Bedenki goes for the taunt. And a good fight there for Full Send.
I mean, at this point, because Kog'Maw actually got like 600 gold from that huge wave, and because he's building run-ins, though, he has no single target damage, so he's like pretty much doing no damage to the Nunu or whoever he gets to free hit, because he built for that multi-target damage. But anytime there's multiple targets close enough for him to hit, he's pretty much already dead. And I definitely think it was an itemization failure for the behind. They're giving him the resources, but I don't think he's used them to their max potential so far. and they really need him to step up because he is their late game carry.
Yeah, Umairabra gonna have to be a beast with his positioning in these fights if No Name Necessary want to secure this first game and get one step closer to their first victory of the season. Wilson now setting up to defend the push in the mid lane, with that as your turret dropped. Now the rest of the team moving their way out here to try and defend against this push. Looks like No Name does want to try and continue driving down the mid lane.
At this point, Tristana is so strong. She has 2 items and the QSS. The Cosmo in comparison is, I would say, like not even close. Based on how well Fulson has managed to get on top of him every fight. A little bit of BM by Slayflash, but I would say that because they're even in gold at this point, the teams, that Fulson Gaming actually has a pretty big advantage.
The one thing, though, for No Name right now is that they have all 3 lanes pushing in their favor. They had to send Aussie down, did full send, to deal with the wave on the bot side. They got a slow push going in the top, and they've now pushed up to this tier 2, and No Name Necessary will actually take that tower, so a good push here right now. Not a great response there from the side of full send.
Yeah, it's weird that the Aussie went by, considering that B-Danky is playing Shen and has ultimate and teleport. They definitely could have looked to engage a fight there if they had sent Shen. Like, after he had cleared the wave, Shen has TNN, so he has good wave clear. Maybe Ozzy just saying that he needs to farm because, well, he's still a 1,500 gold down on Vectus. So the farm's definitely going to be good on him. The only good thing right now, or one of the good things right now for Full Send Gaming, is that Ozzy does have now the Nashor's Tooth and the Leandri's Torment. He actually is sitting on about 1,500 gold and already has a blasting one. I'm not sure, maybe he's going for a Void Staff, or maybe he's going for Rabadons, but Ozzy's looking to get really strong really fast at this point. One more item, he'll be spiking super hard.
6-1 and 2 on this Azir with 242 CS. Definitely no slouch in the damage department now. 27 minutes into this game. Saber Flavor could be in trouble here, though. Does get tagged by the concussive blows, but they are going to turn this one around, trying to get onto Jihoon Kim. Nature's Grasp is trying to advance onto the Tristana, and he is going to lock the Tristana down, but there's no damage backup. Ooh, Pectus' ult is actually canceled. They're going to get onto the backline, and the Malzahar is dead. That's a shutdown. A great fight there for Full Send. They take down the support in the mid laner, and now they have charge of the map. A 2,000 gold lead, and with Baron up in 10 seconds, this could be a huge objective for Full Send.
Yeah, and, you know, N3 went for a pick there, it looked like, and the whole team of Full Send Gaming just was like, no, not today, and they ran up on him and won the 5v5 or 4v5. Well, however many members of NT were there, they won the FSG just won the fight because their team fight is so much better.
Well, their team fight is better, and also Pectus was late to arrive to the fight. The Kog'Maw was nowhere nearby, and neither was the Shyvana. So you had, you know, no damage in Jihoon Kim and ZGM trying to get onto the Tristana. And once the Malzahar had arrived, it didn't matter because the CC got onto him, canceled his ultimate, and he was dead before he could even react.
Yeah, and at this point, Azir is actually only 600 gold behind Pectus, and he has a level lead on him. So, considering that Pectus at one point not too long ago was like 2,500 gold ahead, this is looking really bad for N3. Another game where it's looking scary the later the game goes for N3. But just like we saw last week, the later the games went, the scarier it looked.
Yeah, but Danky now with the Baron buff trying to push down this top side. Dagger's here to defend.
Yeah, and there's no way that he can because of the demolition of the installed, but it should be free. And this is the taunt. Point blank.
There's going to be no support there for Dagus as the 4-man unit for Full Send is shoving right down the throat of No Name Necessary. They take that tier 2 in mid and are possibly looking to get some damage onto this inhibitor tower. Ooh, Bedenki going for the dive and forces Dagus to ult away. Oh, but they have the ult now onto the Nunu. The Wild Growth will keep him alive a little longer. The ultimate, as well as the stopwatch, keeping him up. They have set up the Azir turret to have a little bit of protection to retreat to, and the Nunu actually able to survive thanks to the support of his team.
Yeah, and Shen is still pushing top lane, and they all go to respond, but now they're going to take the mid for free.
Ooh, Pectus could die here. Saber Flavor going for the dive. The silence will land, but it doesn't matter. The mid laner is dead. Oh, Saber Flavor actually rocket jumps away, but not quick enough as Umairabra will stall that push just a little bit by taking down the Full Send 80 carry.
Yeah, huge. Well, Actually, I don't think it was that big at all for Full Send Gaming. I don't think they got any towers in that little push. They got both the inhib towers low, but they actually just ended up losing their 80 carry for 2 kills. I don't know if that's... I mean, I guess it's fine because they still just want to scale, but the Baron buff might just be going to waste at this point, considering they don't get any towers. They might be looking for this triple mountain rig as their next objective.
Yeah, it was kind of a little bit of a of a clown fiesta there in the no name necessary bases. Full Send not quite able to follow through on that push. They do have the Baron buff for just a little bit longer here. Can possibly try to take one more objective, but with the minion waves now pushing in favor of N3, they're going to be hard pressed to utilize the rest of that Baron buff.
I would say it was mainly a mistake there by Froge. He decided to jump in on Malzahar, who was already backing off instead of going to finish the tower, because he had his charge on the tower. If he would have hit it like 2 more times, the inhib tower would have gone down. Malzahar had to back. Kog'Maw can't defend 1v5 in the tower, or 1v4 in the tower. I think that they would have gotten the inhib if Tristana had attacked the tower instead of diving effective. And he also wouldn't have died.
Ooh, big trouble here as IsolateBot steps up a little too far. They aren't going to get the Mountain Drake, and he will actually lose his life. Ozzy is shut down as well. Saber Flavor will take down the jungle, though. Oh, we're going to get the resets. That's a double. That's a triple. Going for the Penta. There's the Quadra kill. Is it the Penta kill? The Quadra, and it is the Penta kill for Saber Flavor on the Tristana. A huge fight turnaround as his jungle and mid laner step up too far, but he comes in for the support and the cleanup on that fight.
Yeah, Froge, after I was just criticizing his play, actually makes a huge one there. After Ozzy dies early, it's looking really bad. Nunu didn't even get a chance to ult, but now they should get 2 inhibs for this. They might even look to end. You still have at least 20 seconds on everyone that matters.
Yeah, Kog'Maw will be up in 10 seconds. EGM Peng will be up a little sooner, but he's not going to be able to defend against this Tristana and Lulu. Can they get enough damage to take down? I would say they'll at least get the Nexus towers, possibly. There goes one, and they're actually going to just back away after taking one. Content with that inhib that they've taken, and still a very low inhibitor tower on the top side of the map, but a good play there. Saber Flavor going off, utilizing those resets to just absolutely demolish N3 in that fight and turn around what was already a 2-for-0 fight in favor of N3 to a 5-2 for Full Send.
Definitely the safer play to back off instead of trying to end, because Froge is actually sitting on about 3,500 gold right now after that huge pentakill and the tower take. So probably the smarter move. Picks up an entire LDR here. I think that's an okay buy. I mean, they don't have any grievous wounds on the side of FSG, whereas the enemy team does have like the Kog'Maw looking to lifesteal, the Shyvana probably looking to lifesteal a bit, the Maokai has some lifesteal, so you know, I don't know if the LDR was the most important item because Tristana was looking to ignore the front line anyways and just kind of kill the Kog'Maw or Malzahar, but does manage to buy it straight out, so
they're going to go in on Jihoon Kim as they did the brush camp on the bot side, and they will take down the top laner, stepping up a little too far now. IsolateBot forced a retreat here from Daggis, but Ozzy is here for support.
Yeah, and that right there is where LDR will come in handy. It just destroys Jihoon Kim. Actually has 2 levels on him and on the top laner as the AD carry. Jihoon Kim's level 14 in this game. What is he? Weird.
Very, very far behind. The Maokai has not been nearly as effective in this mid game as he needed to be. Had some good plays early, but has not transitioned that later into the game. And now they're looking to take their second inhibitor tower. Ooh, good divide there by Ozzy. Will take down Pectus, the Wild Growth, onto Saber Flavor. He's going for the resets. Takes down the Kog'Maw. Daggis is going to try and chase him down, though. Able to rocket jump away. There goes the tower. Daggis could be in trouble. The ultimate from IsolateBot going to take him down. The double kill there for the Tristana as they look for the base. They're going to try and take down the Nexus tower and the Nexus here. Full Send Gaming with a resounding response. A pentakill from Saber Flavor. He's going for a couple more kills here, but this is going to be the win. Full Send will take their first game of the season over no name necessary.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, there's just bad play from the AD carry and top laners from N3, and it wasn't even so much that the top laner was playing poorly as much as it is I just noticed that he's level 14 when in comparison to the enemy top laner being 18. I mean, how do you allow yourself to fall down 4 levels? Even if it is a Shen who's a better split pusher, I mean, you have to at least be able to answer in the side wave where they're just trying to put all the farm on the carries, and you Myronberg got most of the farm. I would guess in the mid to late game, and he just built improperly, and they let the team down. They were relying on him to carry. Maybe I'm not sure how he managed. Maybe he just gave up all the farm to the Cogmore. That's the only way I could see where he would be 4 levels down on the enemy top laner. But still, I mean, 4 levels is a lot of levels. And considering the Cogmore failed to carry, failed to do anywhere near enough damage, it did not look like a good game from either of those players.
And some pretty telling statistics here. Most damage in the game was Flavor Saver, aka Froge, on that Tristana with just over 34,000 damage. In second place was his mid laner at 32,000. First place, though, for the side of No Name Necessary was Pectus on that Malzahar, but at just under 22,000. So a huge disparity for the carries there between these two teams in regards to damage. The Tristana just absolutely going off. The pentakill obviously helping that out a lot, but certainly a great game there from Saber Flavor. 13, 3, and 8 on the Tristana. A big part of that victory there for Full Send Gaming.
Sorry, I was slightly distracted. Yeah, I mean, at this point, you had to look at what went wrong for N3, and then what they plan on fixing within this series. Because Myronbro just didn't look good. He was just dying where he didn't have to die. They were forcing fights with him where I remember in the early game they lost like 3 kills to 0 or something in a skirmish, giving back the gold lead to Full Send Gaming whenever they were so far behind, because the Kog'Maw had the gold. He had like 2,500 gold on him, and he didn't back to buy Ginsu's when he had it. And it's weird, the Kog'Maw had 2,500 gold. He was like 30 seconds out from flash, and then they force a fight. It's weird decision making and bad play from Myronbro that I believe is gonna cost this team the series. And plus the draft itself, honestly, like what I was saying about how they could have drafted the split push and look to win in that style rather than try and matching the 5v5 potential. I think that would have probably helped them out a lot whenever it came to winning the game.
All right, well, we are going to prepare for Game 2 between these teams. If the trend continues on stream, at least, we could possibly see a reverse sweep from No Name Necessary, as we did see it both days last week. But something tells me after that first game that Full Send may just have complete control of this series, and it's going to be just interesting to see how this draft goes. I agree with you that Myronbro is going to have to step up big time. He was remarkably less than impressive in that game on the Kog'Maw. And he's really going to have to be a lot stronger for his team. They aren't going to be able to lean solely on Pectus, considering how strong Ozzy is in the mid lane, and he scaled very well and was able to control that matchup fairly well once they hit the mid game.
Yeah, and like I was saying in the game, is like maybe Pectus hard carrying is their best option, but Malzahar is not really a hard carry type champion. Maybe if they want him to hard carry, they can put him on a hard carry. But Myronbro, I felt like got so many resources in that game, and he just did not use them properly at all. Definitely needs to step up for game 2 if they have any chance of winning. And if you are gonna look to put Pectus on like a hyper carry mid, what are you gonna put him on? Maybe an Azir, an Acer, maybe. I'm trying to think of like hyper carries, maybe like an Orianna, but that was banned against in this game. It's weird. Like whenever the AD carry is playing at this low of a level, I don't see a way that you win considering the meta right now. It's just like scaling ADs.
Yeah, once we get into lobby here, or at least once we get Zoob into lobby here, we should be ready to go. Yeah, same password as last time. We will just see a side swap. Full Send moving over to the blue side here for game number 2. So No Name Necessary going to be on the red side. Doesn't look like we will see any substitutions.
Yeah, I think that they should definitely look to get Jihoon Kim on a carry this time. It's going to be the stronger that what he's better at. Doggus, maybe look to put him on a tank instead. I need to get off this team, don't I? Maybe look to you Myron, bro. I mean, maybe get him a safer pick. Maybe try and get him the Tristana instead of the Kog'Maw, because he did not look good because he was getting engaged on it with dying so quick. Maybe if he has the Tristana, he has the Rocket Jump option. Maybe he'll live longer. Maybe he'll be able to do more damage.
Or maybe put him on a utility carry, put him on a Varus or maybe an Ashe or something, and throw Jihoon on a carry. See if he can carry from the top side. Maybe Daggus on a jungle or on a tank, maybe, or something with some engage like a J4, and maybe allow Jihoon to wear the carry pants, because I mean, so far we've been shown that Myron, bro, really can't be counted on so far to carry this team, and these continual Kog'Maw picks don't seem to be working out for them.
Yeah, not at all. And Jihoon didn't exactly have the best performance either. I mean, he had some good TPs in the early game, but if he falls behind 4 levels again, that's insane to me. Is how you can fall behind 4 levels in any role. Like, it doesn't matter. Absolutely insane. And I feel like the reason why he did manage to fall behind so far is only because he was giving his AD carry the resources, because Kog'Maw's a hyper carry, You have to give Kog'Maw the resources in comparison to whenever a tank takes them. So maybe the ADC just failed him, but I would like to definitely see Swift play a carry pick instead of a Maokai again, or an Orin, or anything like that. Yeah, and I talked about the Orianna for Pectus and first ban. It's off the table, and I expect to see a Twitch ban here from N3.
Yeah, and for those of you watching at home, when we do say Swift, Swift is the old moniker for Jihoon Kim. That was his old summoner name. So Swift and Jihoon, one and the same. As we do see a couple of supports, lots of shields being banned away so far, as Karma, Orianna, and Lulu dropped away here so far in the burst ban phase.
Yeah, they haven't banned Twitch yet, but I'm definitely expecting it. I wouldn't say there were any picks in game 1 that were like, oh man, we have to ban that. They decided to ban the Lulu. I think it's just so that they can't run a hyper carry comp. But I don't think there were any other picks, like not the new that was just like, oh, we need to ban that or else we're gonna lose.
Do you think it's worth banning the Tristana?
I think that I think they should first pick it here, or either that or Kog'Maw, and then either matchup if Ferg is gonna look better on Kog'Maw, because if we're basing it on the champion, then it's like maybe you just give me Myron Kog'Maw again to see if he just epically fails. Picking the Sejuani, looking to probably just catch out the Kog'Maw again and again if he decides to go for it, or catch out the AD carry at the least, I mean.
Yeah, the Sejuani banned away in the first game. Now available here for Isolate Bot with the Nunu band, and he is going to get that tank in the jungle as Engage drafted here early by No Name Necessary, taking that Alistar with their first pick.
Sorry, medium taco. I would like to see maybe a Kog'Maw Tom Kent here from oh, the Jace would be weird, but I was thinking Kog'Maw Tom Kench, but you never know.
Well, they do take the Tristana here for you, Myron, bruh, and we talked about possibly, not leaning on him as much, but the Tristana, he's still going to be heavily relied on to deal a lot of damage and scale very well and be solid in the mid and late game. But you do mention the Kog'Maw, and they do select that for full send, and Saver Flavor going to be taking that in the bot lane this time around.
TK or Janna? Braum? Bad.
Interesting. So the Braum Kog'Maw selected for the side of No Name Necessary in game number 1, and full send says, we like that and we'll take it here.
Just because Tom Kent says, well, they do have Braum Sejuani, which is really good, like a really good combo. They have so much CC between them. So if they're going to be looking to make plays on the bottom side early, I would say it's good. But The problem right now is that they have the Alistar on the side of N3, so if he's looking to make plays on the Kog'Maw, I mean, he might just get caught out, and there's no Tom Kench to eat him. Sejuani's not exactly the best peeler. She's much of a better diver, I would say. And Braum, I mean, he has his Unbreakable, but if Alistar Udyr managed to get on him, then it's going to be hard to peel them off.
Now into the second ban phase. Junglers and bot lanes selected for both teams, so we are going to see bans just on the solo lanes here as Azir and Talia dropped away by No Name Necessary, then are banned by Full Send Gaming, and will they go for another top lane ban here? Will they pinch that mid lane pool even further? See what kind of confidence they have in Aussie's champion pool here as we wait for this last ban. And it is the Malzahar, so that is 4 mid lane bans. So both of these mid laners will have to dig a little deeper into their champion pools to bring something out in this game. And what will they prioritize here? Is it the mid lane, or do they save the counter pick for Pectus? They're going to possibly grab the Malphite, and they will, for Jihoon Kim, putting him on another tank or engage.
Same strategy as game 1 that they lost with. Putting Dargus on a carry and putting Jihoon Kim on a tank and giving Umayron a hyper carry. I mean, this exact comp failed for them last game. I wonder what they plan on doing different this one.
Well, the one thing they do have going for them is they are playing against a more immobile AD carry this time. You know, it's not going to be difficult for the Malphite and the Alistar to get onto the Kog'Maw if they play it correctly. But the question is will the peel be good enough from Full Send to deal with that engage? They do take the Shen as well here to protect that Kog'Maw.
Really Zoe
going for the burst. Aussie going to bring out the Zoe here in game number 2. And what does Pectus want to play into this? Zoe, a lot of people wanted it nerfed on the last patch, was not touched at all, so still plenty of oppressive damage onto that champion. And the last pick will be the Vladimir for Pectus in the mid lane to try and deal with the Zoe.
Vladimir is absolutely cancer, in my professional opinion.
I ban him every game in solo queue.
That was a decent pick, because what Vladimir's looking to do is just destroy Kog'Maw, use his W to dodge Zoe bubbles. And actually, the whole comp for FSG is more of like a pick comp almost, where they have the Zoe trouble bubble, they have the bomb stun, the Sejuani ult, the Shenton. They have like a lot of pick potential. And Vladimir's W actually just kind of escapes it all. The only problem is, like, if Udyr gets caught by any of the pick potential, he's just done. He has his flash, but that's it. You know, he doesn't have any gap closers built into his kit, which is something that a lot of meta junglers require to be useful. It's just something to gap a wall, and Udyr does not have that option.
Yeah, no name necessary picking heavily to just dive the backline. They all want to pile onto the Kog'Maw and Zoe in this game, so going to very much be on the tanks for Full Send to peel and protect their carries here, because if they do so, Zoe and Kog'Maw can deal out a metric ton of damage if they are able to take the time in these fights. But they're going to be hard pressed to deal with the engage from Malphite and Alistar diving onto that back line.
Yeah, I mean, in this game, it looks like the roles have actually swapped in the fact that N3 is looking, I guess not swapped, but N3 is looking to team fight, whereas FSG is looking to make picks. And if FSG is really just the better team like most people predicted, then this should be an easy game. Honestly, they can catch out the Udyr with any of their pick potential, catch out the Tristana, which if he plays anything like he did last game, should be super easy to catch him. I mean, it's gonna come down to how Umayron plays, in my opinion, and then also just Dargus. Like, I didn't think he had a really big impact in the last game. He didn't really show anywhere. I guess he had like a high kill participation, but I felt like he wasn't really doing anything. Just mainly might have just been because he was playing Shyvana, you know, who just wants to power farm. But this Udyr picking needs to be proactive with it, or else it's just going to be kind of a useless champion in the late game. is also going to be like hard for him to play because they just have too much pick potential, and he has no gap closer on the Udyr. Weird pick. I know Dargus is good at the champion, but just not the best of champions.
All right, well, we are just moments away from getting into Game 2 here between No Name Necessary and Full Send Gaming after Full Send was able to take some good fights in that mid-game towards a Game 1 victory, their first on the season here, and looking to get their first match victory as well. Possibly could get a 2-0 sweep if they play strong here in Game number 2. Just want to remind everybody, go ahead. Zoob, what do you got for me?
Is if P-Tanky can manage to get another 4-level lead on Jihoon. Because we see him on the tank again. Do they give all the resources over to Pectus and Myron again, like they did last game when they fell behind? Or are they going to let Jihoon match the split push, even though Shen has his ulti advantage? Are they just going to be looking to force team fights, maybe? I would think that they're just going to be looking to force team fights on the side of M3. But are they actually going to be able to? Would be my biggest question, because they have Shen ult, Braum ult, and the shield, and then they have like a Zoe sleep. They have Sejuani's ult and stun. They have a lot of CC on the side, a lot of good peel on the side of Full Send Gaming. I don't know if they're going to be able to get on top of them quite the way they want to for N3. You can continue what you were saying before if you remember.
I do remember. I appreciate it. I just want to thank again everybody for joining us tonight on the stream here at twitch.tv/ABL Esports. One last reminder, if you do want to support us, always continue to watch us Mondays and Tuesday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Consider subscribing, clicking that purple button at the top of your screen, as well as checking out the donate link in our description for more info about the ABL series. Head over to ablseries.com, and we're about to get into game number 2 here, folks. I'm certainly stoked. Game number 1 was no disappointment, getting our second pentakill on stream of the season. I don't know if we even had two all of season 2, but certainly an explosive start here in season 3.
I am in Central Time, so it is 7 o'clock for me.
Yeah, 5 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Mountain, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern.
I felt left out.
Math is hard, I guess.
Hockey puck herself.
I'm on the West Coast, best coast, so.
Where do you live, like Ohio or something?
Orange County.
Oh,
wait,
nice.
Ohio, I said West Coast. Ohio's in the Midwest.
You don't know that.
Yeah. Yes, I do.
Anyways, Dog is once not finding items at the start. TC'd. Got rage quitting every time from N3. And this time, I don't know why they haven't paused yet, but FSG is making the 5-man invade. Like I said, every single game in the ABL, there's a 5-man. And if it's not your team, it's the other team.
Dagus has reconnected here, but this is risky. Pectus.
They see him.
Not going to get tagged by the Q of Braum, and Ozzy actually taking the bubble there on level 1 to possibly try and get a pick that will hurt his early laning here, at least until he hits level 2.
The distance on that E was insane. Like, absolutely insane. He shot it from the almost behind the blast cone all the way to like the tier 2 mid. So, you know, balance.
Zoe things. I definitely think that both midlaners are going to be need to be watched out for in this game, just because they both have super good assassination potential. You know, yesterday I was playing Bars, and I was versus a Vladimir in solo queue, and this Vladimir was like, he was like 1 in 13 or something, and I was like super fed, and I even had like a wit's end in the QSS, right? I was standing under tower, and this Vladimir uses his predator, goes on top of me, presses Q, R, and I literally just instantly died. It was like
2,000 damage in 0.1 seconds, I think, was the death recap. So even if, like, regardless of the situation, the Vladimir is still gonna have insane kill threat, just like the Zoe. You know, everyone knows that Zoe can shot with or without the sleeve.
Yeah, it just feels bad playing against the Vladimir and the Zoe. Two very oppressive champions in today's meta. So going to be interesting to see just how that mid lane matchup swings between these two players and just how comfortably they feel on these two champions. Now we are going to get an early invade here from Dagus. He's not going to find much outside of maybe a camp.
Uh-oh. There goes the Grom. So Giovanni looking at bot lane already.
Yeah, could get an early gank here. Myra and ZGM up very high. Gonna try and get the headbutt. Pulverized combo. Oh, they're going to be able to chain the CC here. Can ZGM flash away? Ignite is on. One more auto attack at first. Blood to Savor Flavor. A good play on the bot side from Full Send. And they will get the early lead on their Kog'Maw.
Just like I said, their passive stun stacks so well. It's actually kind of insane because there was just back-to-back stuns for ZG and Penguin, and even as Alistar, he couldn't survive that. It's a good thing that they went for Alistar and not Tristana though, because Tristana, she's still level 2, so she probably didn't have jump, but eventually she's not, you know, they're not going to be able to even go for her because she's just going to jump away. Unless they manage to CC her for super long.
Flavor Saver, a huge performer, getting that pentakill and going 13-3-8 in game number 1 on the Tristana, and Full Send putting their confidence in him again this time around, putting him on the Kog'Maw, getting him that early kill, and they're definitely going to be leaning on their AD carry to carry them in this second game of the series.
And I definitely think that Verge has that capability. He definitely showed some carry potential in game 1. Ozzy so much damage from the Zoe on the Pectus, but yeah, I mean, Verge looked so good in game 1. I believe he's my MVP, not the hashtag not my MVP. That was the thing, right? He was my MVP for game 1, so I would like to see him just pop off again on the strongest AD carry in the
Bedenki could be in trouble here. Flash, Bear Slap forces him to flash under the tower, but the damage is enough. Dagus will take the kill onto Bedenki there on the top side as the Summoner spell is expended, and will probably have to use his teleport here as soon as he spawns.
Yeah, and Dagus using his own flash to secure the kill. I mean, that's pretty much explains the usefulness of Udyr.
Flash Bear Slap, man.
On the bright side for N3 here is that if Dagus does decide to revisit soon enough, Jihoon will have level 6 on the non-fight. He can just ult on a Bedenki and set up the slap from Dagus.
We are going to get the engage on the bot side as Headbutt Pulverized does land on the Saver Flavor, but they're going to try and turn around. Concussive Blows could be procced. Umayra forced the rocket jump away. They're going to stun ZGM Penguin and get a little more return damage. Umayra now, here he comes. The exhaust onto the Kog'Maw. Saver Flavor's got to be careful. Oh, the stun. The heal forced out, but actually knocked possibly a little too far away, but the Satchel Charge is going to be enough. Umayra is going to secure this kill. Yes, he will. The kill over to the Tristana, now inhibition, try to retreat. The resets, though, this could be the double kill. He throws up the wall. He doesn't have support from his team. Zoe is late to arrive.
Yeah, and they
look at the Braum out. Oh, Pectus wants the kill, activates the ultimate. Can he get it? It's not enough damage. Inhibition actually able to escape with his life just barely. There's a lot expended to try and chase down the Braum.
Yeah, and they tunneled super hard on the Alistar. Just because they managed to pack the concussive,
blows, yeah, you got it.
Blows off on him. But honestly, by the time that had happened, that they stunned him, like Tristana had turned back around and come back into the fight. If they would have swapped targets again back to the Tristana, they could have killed her for sure. But it's just a bad read on the 2v2 matchup.
And a great follow-up on that play there for No Name Necessary as they do turn around and grab that early Infernal Drake here just over 6 minutes into the game. That's going to make that scaling that much more threatening. And an early lead over to No Name Necessary for the second game in a row. They led game number 1 early, had some good plays to start that one off, but they are going to get onto Dagus here on his blue. Oh, the burst from Ozzy, and he will take the kill. And Most likely the blue buff, they are going to get collapsed on here. Inhibition has arrived to help out, though. The blue buff will actually go over to the Tristana. This is going to be a good 3-on-3 fight. Teleport coming in from the Malphite. He has his ultimate available. Here he comes. ZGM going very low, ulted now onto his Isolate bot, and he's going to go down. Bedenki now in full retreat. Pectus will take the kill. Ozzy try to get a kill here as well, but the headbutt pulverize over the wall will knock him up. Oh, the sleepy bubble has landed on to the 80 carry, but the Q will miss. Now they're going to stun Jihoon Kim, force the flash away as Ignite is on. Now they've stunned Pectus again. The concussive blows activates. Can they get the kill? Saber Flavor will take him down now. Myron Bro trying to retreat as well. The bubble will miss, but it is going to actually cause Daggis to go down. That's the double kill for the Kog'Maw. ZGM Penguin going to go down as well. Ozzy gets the kill. A Clown Fiesta in the jungle as essentially... What was that? A 1-4-3?
Daggis just died twice in the same fight? Or...
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes, he did. He started the fight and then returned and died again after he got hit by the bubble.
This is what I'm saying about the usefulness of Udyr. Like, he didn't have flash, so he ran in a straight line, stepped on the trouble bubble, and then he just died. Like, he just died twice in the same fight because it's just a useless champion. And this is an easy dive for...
Myron Bro, though, actually able to escape as Saber Flavor was tanking the tower, the auto attack, and uses his... Oh my goodness, the stopwatch. I don't know if that was worth, but they do get the kill going over to the Braum as they do dive Myron Bro on that Tristana, and they will be able to continue to push here on the bot side.
I think Froge was thinking that one auto would be enough, so we auto stopwatch to avoid the tower shot, and then turns out that he lives with 50 HP, and just feels kind of bad.
Ooh, Ozzy with the bait. Can he take down Pectus? Pectus very low. Is going to sustain a little bit with the Q. And he landed. Yes, he does. Ozzy with the kill, and actually gets the ultimate out of the Vladimir. Good job from Ozzy there, baiting in Pectus and able to secure that kill now. The gold lead swinging back and forth. Just a moment ago, we had a 1,000 gold lead for No Name Necessary, and it is completely swung around now 2,000 in favor of Full Send. Jihoon dueling with Bedenki on the top side is going to eat some tower shots, has his ultimate available. Bedenki's got to be careful.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, we're seeing the same issue play Game 3 as we saw from last week and last game. It's that they have a very strong, first early game. I wanted to say first 10 minutes, but they threw before that point. But they have a really strong early game, but then they just manage to throw their lead every time. They always get ahead, and then they always fall behind.
And they're going to try and dive Bedenki here between his towers. Can Jihoon chase him down? Had used the ultimate. They're not going to be able to get to him, so... Ultimate expended, but yeah, do force out the flash from the Shen. Now Ozzy going to try and get some damage here. Oh my goodness, that burst is brutal. And the scary thing, Ozzy doesn't even have a Lich Bane yet. Once he gets that Lich Bane, that burst is brutal.
Actually, we've actually seen a lot of Korean mid laners skip Lich Bane altogether now on Zoe. It just for like a Leandries and then like Death Cap. So a lot of NA players like in high elo tend to still go for the Lich Bane, but in Korea and China they tend to skip that item. So it's going to be interesting to see what Ozzy decides to go for here. He doesn't have sword shoes yet either, but he does have the Morello, which stops the Vladimir healing. So definitely scary for Pectus in this 1v1. And honestly, unless he can hard carry, like I was saying, I don't think N3 has a chance to win this one.
And as we do take a peek here at the gold differences, a 900 gold lead for Ozzy in the mid lane, a 1300 gold lead for Saber Flavor on the bot side. So both of the carries for Full Send very much in position here to just hard carry this game. Yeah, an odd rocket jump there from you, Myron, bro. Just jumping right into the dual lane of Full Send and just walks away afterwards.
Yeah. If Inhibition had autoed him, like whenever he did that jump, I mean, I would have been scared if I was Full Send there. It's like, wait, what is he doing? Like jumping in like that. If you had autoed him.
Are they going to catch you, Myron, bro, here? Oh, here comes the engage. The ultimate from Inhibition. Now, CGM forced the flash away. They are going to proc the concussive blows. The Glacial Prison lands onto the Alistar. He's going to knock Inhibition under his tower, but it doesn't matter. He's going to go down, and Saber Flavor takes the kill.
Yeah, I was just trying to say how if they had managed to get that auto off, they would have got the concussive blows on you, Myron, bro. But they got it off on Penguin instead. Easy kill for sure.
And now 4 members here on the bottom side as Ozzy has worked his way down here as well. They're going to be looking for this first tower of the game on the bot side. Dagus is here. He's got to be careful. Oh, that could be a free kill. The tower is going to go down, and they can fight. There is no Glacial Prison available, so iSlayBot does have to be careful. Saber Flavor backing away. Ozzy going in very aggressively. Does land the Sleepy Bubble Trouble, but has to use the stopwatch. Now Dagus in full retreat.
Okay.
Saber Flavor is going to draw out the ultimate from his top laners, but Danky comes down to the bottom lane to assist. That means Jihoon can push.
I'm glad that you, Myron, did not listen to me because I was just talking. I was just thinking like, oh man, maybe he should go in on the. And then the General comes out, and he would have definitely died if he had done that. I mean, it's just looking so easy for the Zoe. Zoe and the Cosmo so far ahead. Dagus is playing Udyr, who I believe is a useless champion. I mean, he hasn't even had a chance to flash on anyone in the past, 7 to 8 minutes. So it's gonna be weird. The only thing they have going for him, they have this dragon control, and they already have the first dragon cured. So maybe if they could take all the dragons, their win condition from the Elder. But right now, it is not looking very fun.
Yeah, No Name Necessary trying to secure some vision around that neutral objective. Don't want to give up that Drake, as they've just been giving away plenty of gold in the last few minutes, and now the bot lane, or at least just Saber Flavor, up on the top side with the lane swap, going to start pushing, and this top lane tower should be pretty free. May have to wait for his next minion wave, but No Name Necessary is late to respond. Now here comes the engage. Saber Flavor has arrived. They're going to activate the concussive blows. Ultimate activated from ZG and Penguin, but he's fairly low already. And we're going to fight on the bot side. Bedanki now trying to retreat from 2 members. Looks like No Name Necessary's bot lane has been able to get away. Bedanki is going to go down. Jihoon Kim takes the kill, but they're trying to push all across the map for full send.
So Dagus doing what his good champ is good at, and then take his dragon, maybe. And I mean, at this point, I don't know why they just didn't pick Shyvana again. Honestly, and this should be a good tower for FSG here.
They actually could go for the dive. The Glacial Prison is going to land onto the Tristana, and that's pretty free. ZG and Penguin stuck by the concussive blows. The ultimate for Jihoon Kim will actually secure the kill onto the Kog'Maw, so a good response there from the top laner, but still a double kill over to the Kog'Maw as they dive the top lane tower. Just more gold into the coffers there for full send.
Yeah, and here the Kog'Maw once again going for a Ren's second item, but it's not as bad here because the Kog'Maw is actually decently. The Vladimir isn't that strong yet to where he needs to rush the wit's end. I think he can afford to go for the run-ins because he's been peeled for and kept alive long enough in these fights that he can just stand in the back and get off all those free autos. He's been involved in a lot of skirmishes, so the run-ins on him is actually going to be really good compared to the last game where we saw it on a Kog'Maw that couldn't stay alive for any of the fights. So it was just proper building this game.
They're going to collapse on Jihoon. Not a lot of damage here between the support and the jungler, but it doesn't look like it'll matter. Saber Flavor on his way. Flash is available for Jihoon. Won't use it, though. The shutdown to iSlayBot, and Jihoon Kim is dead. Now Bedanki trying to deal with Pectus on the bot side as the Vladimir is trying to push.
Just a second ago when I said Pectus wasn't that strong yet, I lied. He picked up Leandre since then. Or his Haunting Guys.
Haunting Guys, yeah.
And now he's strong. Now I would be very scared.
Myron, bro, getting caught by some damage there from Ozzy. Has to be very careful. Ozzy will actually miss on the second try, so Tristana will stay alive just a little bit longer, but they are able to take down that tier 1 in the top side. Bedanki now wants to fight Pectus under tower. Forces the dive here. Is going to use his blood pool to try and escape. He is going to eat a couple more tower shots, but he's going to win the 1v1 in the dive on the top side. Now Dagus in big trouble. Going to get stunned. Doesn't matter. Saber Flavor takes him down. Man, you mentioned this Udyr not being very useful, and at 1-3-1, he has not done a lot.
Trinity Force, and he went Skirmishers Tiamat before Trinity Force. He's building like one of the most expensive items in the entire game, and he already wasted like 1,800, 2,000 gold getting other items first. So it's like he's not gonna power spike until
Myron, but going very, very low as all the damage coming out here from Full Send. Jihoon gonna go get, or at least get put to sleep, and Inhibition will take the kill with the Q as Bedanki shows up on the top side. Ozzy still throwing out all the poke he possibly can as they continue to push for a tier 2 tower.
Yeah, and it's gonna take, like I was just saying, Doggus another what, 5-6 minutes to finish his Trinity Force. A 22-minute Trinity Force is not impressive. You know, like he's not going to be strong until he finishes 3 items, and at that point, he's just not going to be useful. Just a weird champion choice to me.
Yeah, obviously Full Send felt it was ban-worthy the first time around, but the way Daggus has performed so far would counter that point in my opinion. Just looks like Full Send has been able to do a great job of dealing with that Udyr and just keeping him down as they look to take another tower. Going to go for this tier 1 in mid lane as iSlaybot is dealing with the Daggus on the bot side.
Not 1v1 this Udyr. That's the only thing that Udyr can do. So definitely don't look to 1v1 him, but still away his camps, that is an option.
iSlaybot could be caught here. Jihoon trying to duel the Sejuani here in the jungle as the rest of his team trying to defend from Full Send's push in the mid lane. And Jihoon Kim does have the ultimate available here in just a couple of seconds, so we could see a fight, or at least some engage here from No Name Necessary. Full Send needs to respect that Malphite, as he can certainly turn a fight around with that unstoppable force.
I like what I'm seeing in terms of macro from Full Send Gaming. They're pushing their advantage pre-level 20, which is really good because a lot of teams, even in CS and stuff, don't push an advantage past the tier 1 towers pre-20 minutes. You know, they get all the tier 1s and then they sit and wait. They're like, well, I guess we wait for Baron to spawn at 20, you know. But even in the ABL, we have FSG managing to look to push the advantage.
We do have the collapse here from Full Send. Saberflavor going to stay alive. The Unstoppable Force not able to do enough, and Jihoon separated from his team. Doesn't have Flash available, and they are onto the backline. ZGM Penguin going very low. They are going to get onto Pectus as well. Ozzy is here. Can they take down the mid laner? That is the mid laner dead. Vladimir is gone, and Ozzy gets the kill. Now, Inhibition and Saberflavor, they are going to activate the concussive blows. Jihoon is dead. Double kill to Ozzy, and that's a 4-4-0 in favor of Full Send Gaming.
Yeah, and I mean, Baron spawns in 8 seconds. Should be good to take. Who's going to contest it? You know, Doggus is alive, dude, but if he jumps in, he's dead the second he jumps, you know? It's not like he has much of a steal potential.
Yeah, Full Send gonna go for the Baron here at just over 20 minutes. 2 games in a row going for this early Baron. Not even with the Nunu this time around, but it doesn't matter. That's the Baron buff over to Full Send Gaming, and with an 8,000 gold lead, they are very much set up to get the sweep here over No Name Necessary and get their first match win of the season.
Yeah, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but 5-0 Zoe, 505, 824 Kog'Maw is not about to get outskilled by Vladimir and a 1-3 Tristana. So it's not like they have much scaling potential. The Shen and Sejuani will always be relevant in the game. Wrong. Whereas the Udyr, not so relevant. The Malphite is good as long as he has his ultimate.
And the damage to back it up from his carries, but with them so far behind, it doesn't really matter if he's getting onto the back line.
Yeah, because he jumps in to die, I guess. Like,
and he's just getting CC chained here. Forced to use Unstoppable Force just over the wall as Saberflavor's over here doing the 1v2. He will die to Daggus as he does get the shutdown, but still able to deal quite a bit of damage. And it doesn't matter. Full Send's still going to win this fight as Inhibition takes down the mid laner. ZGM Penguin going to go down here as well. Ozzy will grab that kill. Myra forced to retreat. Does get caught by the charge from iSlaybot. Can they collapse? Full Send, come help out your jungler. That's going to be a stun. The double kill to Ozzy, and another 4-4-1 fight this time for Full Send. Doesn't matter that they lost their AD carry, they're still going to take down some towers.
Yeah, not at all. And like I said, it took another 5 minutes for Udyr to get his Trinity Force. But here he is with his Trinity Force, manages to 1v1 the Kog'Maw a little too late, in my opinion. I mean, the game's pretty much over at this point. Unless the Kog'Maw somehow gets caught like that every single time. And even in that scenario, I mean, Malphite didn't have ult, but like Zoe is just so strong.
Jihoon essentially feeding at this point, going in so aggressively, doesn't even have his ultimate. Dagus way too deep. ZG and Penguin gonna get the pulverize, but it doesn't even matter, gonna get stunned again. The CC chains continue. The support is dead. That's a double kill for IceLaybot. Now they're going for the backline. Umayra gonna get caught by the sleepy bubble trouble, gonna get stunned. Here comes the burst, force the flash away from Ozzy, and Bedenki just gonna try and chase down the AD carry. There is the kill. 4 members are dead again for No Name Necessary, and Full Send is just decimating their base.
Yeah, and going into this season of ABL, I was thinking No Name Necessary would be a strong team based on the fact that they have Pectus in the mid lane. Essentially, one top 2 mid laners that we had in the ABL last season. And right now, this whole team around him is just not looking good. Bot lane is at 1-12 total. I mean, Dargus with the useless champion pick in my opinion. Not doing much to help the game in comparison to, say, a Sejuani. They have a lot to work on as a team.
I think the biggest thing they need to work on is they need to really decide who their carries are. I've seen Jihoon Kim play a lot. I know he has carry potential, and I feel like if you can put some more resources into him and put him on a champion where he can really show his skills and stop building compositions, or at least putting, you know, these hyper carries in the hands of Umayra, where he, you know, your composition is built on him succeeding or failing, then maybe you have something going. But I think you need to stop leaning on this AD carry.
Yeah, and we talked about it before Champ Select, or like during Champ Select, how we wanted to see Jihoon Kim on a carry, and we wanted to see Umayra not on a hyper carry, and instead, or even the Tristana was an option because she has the mobility, but still he's died 5 times in 24 minutes, you know, like it's definitely need to be looking to see Jihoon on the carry next week, or else this team's not going to be doing too hot. Pectus is a carry for sure, but at this point this game's all but over.
The Ignite on a ZG and Penguin. Kill going to go over to Inhibition as Dagus is just trying to run away from IceLaybot as he is just forced to run circles around the river.
Yeah, and they gave Dagus a carry pick again, just like in game 1, and just like in game 1 they failed to execute with it. It's weird to me that they went for the same draft, almost exactly the same, in games 1 and 2.
Full Send gonna force No Name Necessary away from their bottom lane inhibitor. Ozzy flashing in for the kill and just deletes Umayra. He goes down. Legendary is the Full Send mid laner as they take down the inhib. 3 inhibs are dead. They're going to turn their attention to the Nexus turret, and this is free, folks. Full Send Gaming dominant in the mid and late game for game number 1, and dominant throughout here in game number 2. They're going to pile on to try and get some last minute kills here, but that is a win, a 2-0 victory for the side of Full Send Gaming as they take down No Name Necessary.
Yeah, I mean, this does not look good for N3 at all. I mean, this is a good player. I think he played well considering what, like, my team though, you know, but jeez, I mean, they get leads early and then they throw them. The 80 carry fed both games, putting Dagus on carry picks back to back and then just failing, putting Swift on tanks back to back, and both times, I mean, he was there, he got kills early in both games, but what good is early kills on a tank whenever the rest of your team is just feeding? Honestly, like, it's hard. As in 3, I mean, they need to work on keeping the early leads. They need to work deciding who the carries are. For the side of FSG, they looked really good in this game. It was very clean, 28 to 9 tests, and half of them were on Bedenki, more than half. So, you know, it was fine because like he absorbed so much pressure from Dagus. Like, it pretty much made that entire Udyr pick useless because he didn't do anything except for kill the Shen a couple times. And you know, killing Shen isn't the end of the world for FSG, whereas killing the Kog'Maw or the Zoe might have been, you know, but just weird comp, weird play, bad play even. And just well played by FSG, honestly. Ozzy on the Zoe looked so good in game 2.
All right, and a little update on our other series, Reborn, actually 2-0 victory over Team Royal Luck, the team that was favored by the ABL faithful. Reborn coming out and proving that they're a team to be reckoned with after 2 victories in a row, only dropping 1 game between both series. So an interesting update there from that other series. We did see the 2-0 here from the side of Full Send Gaming. And we do have, sorry, unserver mute. We do have Saver Flavor, also known as Froge, joining us here for a post-game interview after the 2-0 victory there from Full Send over No Name Necessary. How are you feeling about your performance in those 2 games?
Well, the first game didn't start off too well. But no, we came through. The whole team came through and won the first game. Then the second one, throughout the whole game, wasn't too difficult for us.
Did you feel like their bot lane was inting in game 2?
I don't know about that, but I do think we played really well second game and just got ahead in lane and then was able to push that lead.
Okay, I have a question. If your League of Legends account got hacked, how do you have a Saver Flavor Discord account? Or did you change it?
It's the same. I think one of the admins changed it to
Okay.
Flavor. Yeah, it's the same
to match.
Discord account though. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
We got Stro number 2 over here. I don't think so. The bot, honestly, your bot lane as a whole played very well. Inhibition, you and him seem to be very much on the same page throughout these this entire series. Talk to me a little bit about the partnership with you and your support, and this team putting so much resources into you, and Inhibition doing just a great job of enabling you in these 2 games.
Yeah. Well, we play a lot of games together, just even out of scrims. We'll do it together, and I feel like that has a big impact on like how we play well together. And yeah, I don't know. I just feel like the 2 games were really, really well played by both like bot lane and the rest of the team.
Zoob, you have any other questions?
Who's your favorite AD carry champion?
That's a super tough one.
Is
I
it
have
Twitch?
I have to go with Quinn on that one. No, I'm just kidding. Of course, it's Switch. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Do you ever think you'll get it?
Probably not, but there's quite a few other ADCs, as you might have noticed, that I feel comfortable playing. So I think if it gets banned every game, that's fine. I can play a lot of other stuff. So should be fine.
And how long have you guys been playing together? I know you guys were won something last season, right? Or last
Yeah, we
year?
played in the Upsurge Development League, and we won that. That was actually the first league that we ever played in, which was just, I think it started in August just of 2017. So we've pretty much only been playing as a team since then.
Okay.
And we started that because we all actually know each other in real life, so helps a lot as well.
All right, one last question here for you before we let you go. We were discussing the updated power rankings after week 1, and you guys dropped 3 spots to number 7 after losing pretty handily there to Schism in your first series. Do you feel like that was more of a fluke, or maybe they kind of caught you guys off guard, and that today was more of a statement on what kind of team you guys can be this season?
Yeah, for sure. It was the first game. We're all super nervous playing the first game of the season, and yeah, I think it was mostly just a fluke overall.
Is that a possible challenge then to Schism? Maybe you guys see them in the postseason. Are you confident enough to say you'll beat them next time around?
Yeah, I sure hope so. That's the plan.
All right, well there you go. From the mouth of our MVP for tonight's series, Froge, also known as Saver Flavor, at least for tonight, with a hell of a game, a pentakill in game number 1. And congratulations to you and the rest of Full Send, and we wish you the best of luck the rest of this season.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
All right, folks. Well, that was Saver Flavor He and Full Send with a 2-0 victory tonight over No Name
Rip.
Necessary. And our other series, as I updated you guys momentarily ago, 2-0 Reborn beating Team Royal Luck to go 2-0 to start the season. So some interesting shakeups here in the standings just at the end of day 1 for week number 2. But any final thoughts from you, Zoob, as we finish off tonight's broadcast?
I think that Full Send looked good, about as good as I predicted they would. I think No Name Necessary looks a lot worse than I wanted them to. They have a lot of issues to fix. I don't know if they have a coach or anything, or an analyst or something, but they have a lot to work on for sure. And I don't know if they'll spot it all out themselves or if they have the time to. So I definitely recommend them getting a coach or an analyst or something. Also, I mean, I like casting, so appreciate it.
Well, that's good. Thank you so much for joining me. And as we finish off tonight, want to remind everybody we will be live again tomorrow night. My good friend Fridge will be rejoining me on the cast for the first time since the Season 2 playoffs, so certainly excited to have him back. We will be casting Elevated Gravity against Vital Point Storm, both of those teams' first appearance on the cast this season. So make sure to look out for that, 5 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Mountain, 7 p.m. Central, and 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night. If you want to support us, again, always just come to watch the stream Monday and Tuesday nights at the same time. Consider subscribing or checking out the donate link at the bottom of the page. And always remember, any info or things you want to check out about the ABL series, head over to ablseries.com. I was your host and play-by-play commentator Yeso. For myself, Zoob, the rest of the broadcast team, and everybody else at ABL Series, thank you so much, folks, for joining us tonight, and we'll see you again next time.
Bye.